Hey, morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you, Jean?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
I feel like the mayhem's like settling down a little bit. I had so much going on over like the last month. It was just crazy.
Yeah, you did have a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But I feel like we're getting a little bit back to normal.
Good. Things are settling in.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
quite there yet.
So I heard Miami was a crazy time. It was I was following along on different social media channels. What was your
It
overall
was,
thought?
it was definitely the best one so far. Love your mug.
It's
That's
like
awesome.
it's like Good Morning America.
Yeah. Definitely the best one so
Yeah.
far in terms of venue, in terms of content, um, and just overall, like the way it was planned. It was very good.
Um, were you able to walk from your hotel to the convention center, or was it more of like a Uber?
I totally could have. And actually, we got a rental car that we ended up not even needing because there were charter buses that
Mm.
were running constantly. I never waited for a bus ever, um, which was incredible. Every time I stepped out of the hotel or I stepped out of the venue, there was always a bus waiting to take me. Um,
Oh, back to the hotel.
yeah, or to the convention center, which was only it was only a mile and a half maybe. I could have walked it, but
Got it.
yeah, it was great.
Very good. Where's Christian? Hmm. Sure.
Well, if he's having the morning that I'm having,
Really? You're, you're having a morning?
well, it's all good. Hoping the closing comes together today.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Otherwise, I've got a homeless buyer.
That's not good.
That's not good. It's
Yeah.
not good. This has been a challenge to get to the finish line, but we'll get there.
Was there remember that conversation we had about a couple of listings that your agents had that were having some difficulty? Was there any is there any update to that?
Nothing new. We did one of them has a price reduction, um, which was hard fought. Um, but yeah, still
Okay. It's all right.
we're seeing some
Brian Walsh is
interesting
here.
things.
What's up?
Hey,
Can you hear
Brian,
Brian,
me?
how are you?
yeah, we can hear you. How are you? Brian, are you gonna get your guitar out for us?
Maybe.
I I was
Kumbaya.
yeah, I was listening to your uh, Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, did it come out okay?
Yeah,
I mean, listen, I'm coming out of my comfort zone there for sure.
I mean, look, I don't know. You're not going to be on, with Led Zeppelin tomorrow, but you were very good though.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I got to put more time into some other things, but I've been enjoying the getting back into the guitar and kind of getting some of my pent up creativity out.
That's good.
Awesome.
I come on
You do
camera,
put
but
hey,
I'm not.
hey Brian, you do parties or private events or no?
I mean, it's on my mind. I just don't want to get tomatoes thrown at me, or worse. Last summer, I said
So,
to myself, I said, I'm going to put together a set of songs and maybe like consider, playing out or something. But then just kind of went to the wayside. But then lately, I rejuvenated that idea.
Why not? Right? Why
Go for
not?
it.
good for you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I've never been a singer, so the guitar is not the problem. It's my singing that I have to work on. I mean, it's okay. I think it's all right, but you know, it's okay.
I think you do pretty good.
It's all right. It's not bad. most people are like, hey, it's better than I would do, or you know what I mean? It's just got to get up there and do it. And
Absolutely.
some
That's it, man. That's it. Get
just
out
like
of the
making
comfort
phone
zone.
calls, just like making phone calls, just like prospecting.
Just
Mhm.
just do it. I think we've heard that before somewhere else. So morning
Sorry to
everybody.
crash the party.
That's okay. Good to see you, man. Um morning everybody. Welcome to our Leaders Edge Mastermind, brought to you today by, I don't know who it's brought to you by, but let me so we had the national convention recently in Miami, and we wanted to go over some nuggets that were taken away from the convention that you can put into action right away. Dean, I'm actually letting you share the screen. Let me know if you can.
Awesome. Yeah, let me try that. Yeah,
Yep, there you go.
great.
We see
I'm
you.
gonna try. We said 8, but there's quite a few more than 8. But we're
That's
gonna try
okay.
and cram like 3 days of content into 50 minutes of highlights. There was so much ground covered, and there are several things that are coming that will impact every agent. Some things right away, some things are like scheduled to roll out. So we're just gonna try and put everything on your radar today. And uh, and even if you're catching this on recording, you'll have some links and some QR codes towards the end to be able to leverage some of the programs and opportunities that are being rolled out. And then just stay on top of it if these are things that you want to see as they're launched going into the end of the year. We'll continue to push that information out. But there was so much, as always, right, as you would expect with a
Abs-
convention, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,500 agents that attended. I was fortunate enough to attend with a couple of team members as well, and we had a blast. So I loved the venue. If you've done Vegas, I highly recommend Miami. It was really well laid out, really well organized, and just an overall great event. So if it's good for you, I'll go ahead and just get started.
Yeah, let's just jump in.
Yeah, let's
And
do it.
hopefully if there is anyone here that's not with eXp, I think you'll still get some value out of what we're talking about today that you can put into your own business.
It's incredible. Yeah, there was so much. So I kind of tried to organize it because I have things everywhere. I have a bunch of notebook pages that I was filling up and a ton of screenshots on my phone. So one of the things that I thought was really important to share was some of the market expectations that we heard at the convention. And then specifically, we can focus on what's happening with some brokerage programs, with marketing, technology, a couple of big things there, and rev share. Huge stuff happening in rev share that I'm excited to pass on to all of you. So in terms of market expectation, I just, keep in mind this is not a financial analyst's perspective, but Leo Pareja, who, as you hopefully know, took on the role of CEO earlier this year for eXp Realty, I think has done a phenomenal job in terms of not only getting ahead of the NAR settlement and the changes that have come through the industry, but he has also positioned eXp and our leadership as sort of a voice at the front of the conversation. Instead of just having an opinion at the table, people are now coming to Leo and to the leadership team wanting to know what they're expecting, what they're anticipating, leading that conversation, not just being a part of it. So Leo, self-described data nerd. So I don't want you to think that I gave him that title, but he gave some context and shared some information that I think is really important for you to think about as you plan for a strong conclusion to 24 and then a really strong 2025. He mentioned that context is important, right? So when you're looking at statistics or you're looking at data, he mentioned this quote. I thought it was a good one. General ambition gives you anxiety, but specific ambition gives you direction. And, with the idea of let's talk about the numbers, let's understand where we are, being specific and having ambition for specific directive goals will help give us focus in 2025. So here are the big highlights. If you want to see the full presentation, I'm going to make sure before we wrap up to drop the link in the chat so that you can go and find the full general session replay on Workplace. But here's just the highlights. Consumer spending. This is really important. Still at an all-time high. We're looking at $18 trillion in consumer spending. And a big chunk of that is in the credit cards, auto, and student loan arenas. Okay. Offsetting that, we have $35 trillion in home equity in the market at the moment. When you think of distressed sellers, it's not like the 08, 09, 2010 market where mortgage values were what were putting homeowners underwater. Now it's looking to be this other debt, particularly credit card debt, that is going to be challenging for home sellers. And that's where there's an opportunity for you in your market to position yourself as an expert, how you can help home sellers tap into equity to find relief from those other debts, because we, like I said, are still seeing spending at an all-time high. Also talked a little bit about rates. And remember, I know Christian in his other hats, we've had mortgage lenders on who have talked about, there is a tie between the mortgage talking about rates. He's referencing the Treasury rate, anticipating 2 more cuts by the end of 24. And the Treasury rate also potentially seeing an entire point drop over the course of 2025, being done in gradual increments. So it sounds like the general consensus at the Fed is that they are pleased with what their efforts have done to help curb inflation and are looking to continue to adjust rates a little bit. So that's encouraging for the real estate market. What I thought was really interesting, and this is, he peppered in some shocking statistics along with some really encouraging and optimistic ones, like the idea of interest rate cuts. But what I thought was really amazing is that in terms of home sales, we are looking at 2024. It's projected to be the worst year in real estate since 1995. That means even more so than what we saw in 08, 09, and 2010. And so the
From what
message that
perspective? From what perspective? Like worse in which way? Just like in inventory and volume? Like
Probably
what do
number
you
of
mean?
homes.
number of homes
Yeah.
sold. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
we're looking at closing under 4 million homes sold in 2024, somewhere around 3.8 to 3.9 million homes.
Wow.
A strong market is going to be closer to 4.5 to 5 million. So we haven't seen numbers of homes, volumes sold this low in almost 30 years, even more so than what we saw in the recession of 08, 09, 2010. So
Wait, are you saying that 1995 was 30 years ago?
yeah, am I doing that math right?
You
Yeah.
are. It seems that's not,
Shocking.
yeah, I'm trying to grasp that at the moment, and that's actually a little scary.
It is a little bit. But I think, he took a moment, Leo took a moment to pause and say, listen, if you've been feeling like this year is hard, the numbers explain why it's hard. So applaud yourself for pushing through, because a lot of us are looking at this year and thinking with home values where they are, it couldn't possibly be as bad as those recession years in the early 2000s. And you're kind of maybe feeling like, what am I not doing? And what I think Leo's message was is that it's been a hard year for our industry collectively.
Oh
So
yeah.
kudos to you for coming through on the other side and now seeing a very optimistic and sort of uptick outlook going into next year. Another great thing, loan applications are back up. And for the first time this year, they're surpassing last year's levels. So that's, again, another bit of good news. And then finally, inventory is up. So we are starting to see the opportunity again, right? Things are starting to loosen a little bit. And we want to get those buyers who were maybe feeling super discouraged the first half of the year, entertain those conversations, reinvite them to learn about what's happening in your local market again. and, see if they can't become your Q4 and 2025 pipeline. Okay. It's very important. He mentioned that there are really still some very wonky things happening in local markets. So while inventory broadly is up across the nation, you can look at certain very specific markets and see inventory way up or see inventory still a little bit restricted. In most markets, we are not back to pre-pandemic levels. Okay. These were the highlights. There's several more slides, several more data. Leo talked a lot about looking at the mid-30s age range demographic, and also looking at the Hispanic demographic as being very strong for home buyers in 2025. Okay, there are, I think, record numbers of people turning 35 every day right now in our country, which is like peak home buying age, and record numbers of Hispanic buyers entering the market as well. So if you want to see the whole replay, I'm going to grab that link before I forget to do it. This is going to give you the entire general session. And I encourage, if you can, even if you play a few minutes here and there when you're in the car driving between appointments, it's really worthwhile. There's some great speakers in there. It's not just Leo and data. It covers 2 days of general session. Okay. Let's talk about what's going on with marketing. A few things to let you know about. For those of you who weren't fans of orange or didn't think you looked good in orange, we can say that eXp has officially retired the orange coloring from all of its logo and marketing materials. If you were to go onto the Marketing Center or take a look at its websites, you're going to see either the black and white combination, very frequently used. You'll see a dark blue, like a super dark navy blue and white being used. And then you'll sometimes still see the lighter blue that you might have been used to being paired with orange, but now the orange has gone away. The brokerage leadership was also really excited to share the launch of a completely refreshed eXp Realty website, which pulls in, depending on where you are, it actually recognizes your market and will pull in, like you just noticed, it's pulling in location-specific listings, right? Very interactive, fresh, new, and it looks modern, right? That's the idea, going for modern, clean lines. The other thing that was launched was an update and a refresh to eXp University. So, I know 3.5 years ago when our teams first came over, you had to always sort of work your way into eXp world, go and find the calendar and get yourself into an auditorium to be able to tap into all of the training that the brokerage was making available. Now with the expuniversity.com website, so much of the content is going to be even more accessible, whether you're going to exp.world on the web or you're leveraging the YouTube channel that EXP is available, or you're utilizing this website. Again, making it that much more accessible at your fingertips and working in that same sort of branding concept, going for clean lines and efficient resources. Okay. All right. So also, if you haven't, it was reminded there wasn't necessarily anything specific about the Marketing Center that was updated at eXpCon, but if you haven't gone there to take a look at the buyer and seller resources that have been rolled out, you absolutely should. If you're trying to reinvent the wheel all by yourself, you're wasting your time. There are some incredible resources available for every agent to lean into in the Marketing Center. Okay. In terms of brokerage programs, there are 3 interesting things that I want to make sure every agent knows about. One of them is Fast Cap. And I don't know, Christian and Jean, have you heard of Fast Cap? I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, I heard of it, but I don't know. I don't know really how it works or what it is.
Christian and I are here to learn.
It's awesome. So Fast Cap, I was fortunate enough to sort of tap into a beta version that was launched in August. It was in testing. They were looking for feedback. The idea of Fast Cap, it's a brokerage run program. So it's through eXp University. And what university leadership did was they went to the fastest capping agents that were new to the business.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
agents that came in and were closing deals in their first 6 months, that were capping quickly, and that were hitting sort of all-time production, all in their first 12 months in the business. And they said, we want to learn and document what those agents are doing to hit those benchmarks so quickly. And that's where FastCap was born. This is a 6-week program, meets 3 times a week virtually, and it's designed to give you that blueprint. If you're new to the business, or if you are struggling in your business, maybe you need a refresher or a reminder of what those activities should be. Maybe you feel like you need that motivation or re-inspiration, right, to give you focus again. This is not just for the brand new agent. It's also for the experienced agent looking to get on track, looking to cap quickly, capping fast, right? That's the concept. There's a huge built out workbook of materials, all digital. And there's also a program that comes tied to this 6-week training session called SISU, SISU. Put a pin in that for SISU because I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in just a minute. But FastCap, the goal is that any of the mentoring training that we might have seen over the course of the last several years will slowly be possibly phased out entirely and replaced with FastCap. What I'm especially excited about with this program, 2 things. One, it's completely free, which is phenomenal. The value is phenomenal. There are agents who would pay thousands of dollars to participate and receive this type of level of coaching and technology to support them and launch them in their business. That's the first thing. The second thing is that they are going to continue to ramp up in the number of sessions that are being made available. The next one actually launches tomorrow. And then they have another one set for January. And there's even another one coming at the end of January. And I believe this one at the end of January is going to be for part-timers. So if you are somebody who's in real estate currently, but you have a full-time job and you are sort of stuck in that place where you want real estate to be your full-time gig, but don't know how to get there, I encourage you to stay plugged in with the university and get on that cohort at the end of January and participate in this program, something you'll be able to do at night, those 3 times a week. Absolutely worth your while. And again, it's free, which I think is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I'm excited. I have somebody on our team starting in the launch tomorrow. I had a couple of people able to participate and audit the program in August. And I think it really speaks also to what the brokerage continues to do to address agent pain points and give you the tools and resources you need to be successful. It's just a matter of you as the agent plugging in, doing the work. They're going to give you the roadmap. You just have to get in the car and drive. Okay, luxury. I'm excited about luxury because this program, it's a certification through Revenues. But the luxury certification, when it was launched about, I want to say 2 years, maybe 18 months ago, was, it was brand new and some things were still being sort of figured out. But what we've seen happen over the course of the last 12 months or so is that this program within eXp's universe has really continued to develop. And now it's positioning agents who are in the luxury price point, which right now is defined as $1 million plus. So if you are in that price point, or if you aspire to be that price point on a regular basis, you should really look strongly at luxury. One of the things that was announced at eXpCon is that eXp Realty acquired a company called Lux VT. Lux is a marketing platform that was considered third party. eXp was leveraging that third party to prepare all of its luxury marketing materials. So, getting a unique printed book for every new luxury listing, pushing out graphics for every new luxury listing to a multitude of sort of higher end vehicles. All of that now is sort of amped up because Lux VT is now under the EXP umbrella. So that was announced.
Is there a fee for the luxury? Because I think the old luxury thing had like I don't know if it was a one-time fee or something like that associated with it. Is there a cost for it?
There is a fee for luxury. I think, don't quote me, I think it's 2,500. If you attended eXpCon, they were giving it at a discount for 2,000, and this is an annual fee, so you're paying it annually. And now they now have launched another option that if you can't pay that fee up front, you can pay it over the course of 1 or 2 closings, but they do add a service fee for that benefit to be able to sort of finance it, if you will, through transactions.
Right.
But the value proposition, I think now is well defined. And if you are serious about wanting to be at that price point and wanting to tap into the resources and get your listings that level of exposure, never mind the fact that, I actually, somebody who attended with me, Gail, was super impressed. She had a chance to go through the certification because you do have to get certified, and was extremely impressed. And just what you're able to do at a listing presentation to set yourself apart from others who might be in that price point and sitting in that price point, you're going to get blown away. I had a chance to talk to an agent from the West Coast who said this program is what took her from Sotheby's to EXP. This program in and of itself, she said you could keep everything else. She said it's what EXP has done for luxury. And she works exclusively in high-end homes in the $1.5 million to $2 million price range.
I've used Lux VT a couple of years ago. It was actually a phenomenal program. They place you, because they also do that retargeting on social media, but you'll end up in front of eyeballs, let's say for people that are reading the Wall Street Journal, they're reading, Robb Report, which, is like a high-end magazine. So they definitely do a good job. So I think that's a very smart move with EXP acquiring them.
They recognize that this is one area, again, looking to develop and build programs that very specifically address the needs of its agents. This was, there was a segment of agents that had been clamoring for luxury. And then those agents not only brought it to life, but they've continued to build it out to be something that, other agents are going to look at that and say, yes, I'll pay the $2,000 or $2,500 because I see the value and I see what it's going to do to help me. One listing in that price point is going to, cover you and then some.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's important that you feel like you're putting money to something that's going to give you the return, right? And so I encourage you. I think it's there. So if you're considering it, take a closer look under the hood, if you will. And then the last thing I just want to mention, Revenos is sort of that big, broad umbrella that covers all of the certification and referral programs that exist with eXp Realty. So not only luxury, but if you are certified in REO, Affinity, there's a program called Bundle Select, relocation, for example. If you are involved in any of those programs, you should expect that probably sometime starting in 2025, certifications are no longer going to have an indefinite life to them. And that includes express offers too. I think they're moving towards an 18 to 24 month expiration, at which point, if you want to maintain your certification, you'll just have to go through a refresher from a training standpoint. Again, these certifications still remain free. So if you're looking to expand your tool belt and give your buyer and seller clients more options, you should take a look at Revenos and find a program that speaks to you. But just in the back of your mind, expect that you'll probably, if you are certified in any of those programs, you might have to go through a refresher in 2025. Okay.
Yep. Good stuff.
All right. So let's get to the technology. This is cool because if you follow anything on Workplace, you probably saw a couple of announcements one thing that they reminded everybody about, it wasn't actually officially launched at eXpCon, but I don't think a whole lot of agents knew about it, was the free Instacard that you have access to from a company called Real Grader. Now, I'm going to warn you because I went through this myself. I tested it out. So it's kind of like, when I try a recipe and I tell you where I screwed up in the kitchen. One thing about Instacart, if you sign up for this free digital business card, you will receive a lot of emails from the company Real Grader asking you if you want a Google audit or asking you if you would be interested in sort of there's a free audit, which is like a 15-minute thing, and then there's a full-blown audit of all your social media, where they take a look at everything from not just what your Google profile and your Google My Business page looks like, but they'll look at your social media accounts. They'll look at your profiles on things like Zillow, Realtor.com, and they're going to give you basically a full audit for a cost, and then give you sort of a list of things to do to improve your digital footprint. So you can get this card, and here's an example. I gave you what it looks like. So if I were meeting somebody new, I could scan, give them my QR code right on my phone, and I would come up on their phone and you could save me as a contact. You can get this for free today. You can upgrade for $100 to get some add-on features to that. But then again, like I said, full disclosure, you are going to get a number of emails inviting you to participate in that audit service, which is separate and does come with a cost. If you don't have a digital business card right now, I really encourage you to at least take a look at Instacart, again, because it is free. You can link all of your social media accounts, and that can all download right into someone's phone just by them scanning your QR code.
And you know what I like, about this one too, because
Yeah.
there's a few out there that offer free, digital cards. Actually, I have one here that I use. What the heck's Blink. Blink is one. But what I like about this one, I just scanned your QR code, your info came up, and then a pop-up screen came up where it's asking me to put in my information. So then, once I hit let's connect, then you have all my info.
Information. Yep. So it's definitely more interactive. And I know that there are some cool things that the $100 a year pro version, I think it's called, gives you some added benefits that I think too is probably worth your while to explore. But I don't want to give more information and just tell people to do that because I'm still digesting. So I haven't had enough time to really look at whether that $100 charge is worthwhile, that upgrade. But at a minimum, having the free card, if you're leveraging paper cards entirely and don't have a digital card, if you just scan this QR code now, you're going to solve that problem. The technology is definitely where it's going.
That's cool.
Yeah. Two other things that are super cool in terms of technology announcements at eXpCon. So I mentioned to you before when we talked about FastCap, that FastCap came with a full built-out digital workbook, and it also came with access to a platform called Sisu. Sisu is a third-party product. This is not an eXp product, but I would describe it as an accountability platform. This is the place where you should be going. And if you were on FastCap, this would be the place where you would go to track, your touches, so your calls and emails and text messages, where you would track how those touches were converting to appointments, how those appointments were converting to clients, and so forth. Sisu has sort of this accountability platform from a lead gen side, and then it's also got a transaction platform. So once you have a client managing the transaction process, from eXp standpoint, for FastCap, and now for every eXp agent, that lead gen accountability platform is available to every agent, not just the agents who participate in FastCap. This is huge. So for those agents who have been craving some sort of system specifically built around accountability, and maybe who aren't finding their home in KV Core to do that, this is going to be fantastic for you. The QR code that you see there on the right-hand side of the screen is the QR code that will take you to a link for you to claim your free CSU account. So again, it's going to be the lead gen accountability side, not the transaction management side. But this is an incredible value. And when we talk about, I've told you Instacart is free through what eXp has negotiated with the company Real Greater. And now CSU is also free. So we're talking about new platforms being rolled out, and your $85 is unchanged, your $85 a month obligation. The last super cool technology announcement was the unveiling of Canva Pro to every eXp agent. So if you're on Canva at all, you know that there is a free version, but just like with most technologies, all the prettiest carrots are under a paid subscription with Canva Pro. That's sort of an upgrade. Now that's going to be available to everyone who is an eXp agent. Again, all still within the framework of an $85 a month technology and education fee. That's not available today, but it will be rolled out December 6th. And then what I think is going to be really powerful is that coming hopefully first quarter of 2025, the Canva Pro platform for eXp agents will actually include listing integration, where you'll be able to pull in your listing from the MLS into previously created templates from the eXp marketing team to sort of plug and go with all of your marketing for new listings, for just solds, or however you want to be able to touch your client and your database. So again, super cool leveling up of technology. And I'm just very impressed. I hope you are too, that these three things are coming at no additional charge to the agent, which is phenomenal. The last thing that I just want to make sure that we cover is what's happening with RevShare. This has to be probably the most jaw-dropping of everything that I sort of took in over the course of the 3 days. The way that Glenn Sanford himself explained it at eXpCon is that, eXp originally, which he describes as 1.0, was introducing the model of a virtual brokerage to the market and sort of disrupting the market in that regard. Now you see several copycats out there, and there are other brokerages that are looking to say the status quo doesn't work anymore, that sort of traditional model is outdated, and they're following suit. But eXp 1.0 was the introduction of that concept to the market, the disruptor, sort of changed the thinking. Now, Glenn refers to eXp 2.0, where the programs, the resources, and sort of benefits like RevShare are being enhanced and leveled up to really help you operationalize your business, to help you and propel you to that next level of success. Earlier this year, there was an update to RevShare. If you remember the old RevShare platform, you had to, if you were working on a downline, you had to get one or two people in your downline to enjoy level 2 benefits in RevShare. And then after that, you had to get to, I think it was maybe 5 agents to unlock the next level, and then maybe get to 10 agents to unlock the next level. The idea being, without me remembering the exact numbers, but the idea sort of felt that for those agents who were maybe on a team or solo agents with eXp, you didn't necessarily know how RevShare could directly benefit you unless you were putting a lot of elbow grease into it to build that downline number. And when you're trying to manage your business and production is your primary focus, being able to concentrate on downline to get the benefit of RevShare is a challenge, right? We each only have so many resources. But what the brokerage has said is we want every agent to enjoy the benefit of RevShare, to see the value, the financial value of RevShare. as important as it is for you to get paid on the day of closing, you should see rev share as another way to fund your business and to fund your bank account, to fund, your personal hopes and dreams and aspirations, right? Supporting your family. So now, if you are a capping agent, so that means whether you are on a 4,000, 8,000, or $16,000 cap, when you cap, you will now have all the first five levels of your rev share downline open. So that means if you bring in one agent to EXP, and then that person brings in one agent, that person brings in one agent, you're just talking about one level, one agent on every of the first five levels. You are going to financially benefit when each of those agents comes into the brokerage and closes deals and pays into their own cap.
Deanna,
So it's more accessible than ever. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you real quick, and this is phenomenal,
Yeah.
but so it doesn't matter if the agent is on a 16K cap or a 4K cap?
It doesn't.
That's awesome.
It doesn't. As long as you cap. There are two different updates. So the first one has to do with the capping agent, and we actually had the opportunity to double check that. I checked in with Kyle Whistle, and we double checked that to make sure that it did apply to every agent, every team member, regardless of their cap. And as long as you are capping, you will have all five levels open to you for a 13-month period. And hopefully in that 13-month time, your contract will renew. You will once again cap, and you'll extend that out another 13 months. You'll tack on 13 months to wherever you are in that moment. So conceivably, if you just continue to cap, you're going to continue to benefit from all five levels unlocked and accessible to you to financially benefit from agents coming into the brokerage. Out of the 90,000 or so agents with eXp, less than 20%, and I think at one point it was even well under 15%, were leveraging this benefit. And so the goal for leadership is to change that. This is such a game changer that for you to not see this as an opportunity, this is where leadership has stepped up and said, you can't ignore it as an opportunity now, opening up all five levels. For those of you who are full cappers, like if you're on a full $16,000 cap and you close those additional 20 transactions, if you are an icon agent, so you reach icon status, you will have all seven levels open to you for a 13-month period, regardless of how many frontline qualifying agents you actually have. It essentially will unlock all seven levels. These changes to rev share for both capping agents and icon agents are effective today. So if you log into your My eXp today, you should be able to see the numbers and the rev share reflective of those additional levels being open. As long as you've capped, if you're not in cap currently, wherever your contract is, then you're not going to see that change just yet. But when you cap, you will. I do have a couple of links that I can drop into the chat that explain this in detail, the capping incentive program and then the icon incentive program. So I'm going to throw those into the chat real quick.
Awesome.
Yeah, and does anybody have any questions on that?
I'm just wondering, because we rarely, I mean, we do this every week, but we rarely have any kind of conversation regarding rev share or just opportunities, right, that agents have. Because there are a bunch of agents that, already have agents that they've brought into the company that are, in their downline and they're benefiting from that, situation, and the crazy thing is like you can bring in one person, right? And then, because there's a lot of agents that really don't try, right? It just happens organically because of who they are. They have a conversation, they have a deal with another agent, that agent just inquires, but it's not like the agent is, intentionally, purposely is out there trying to, recruit agents. It's just kind of happening organically. But even when that does happen organically, even if you have one or two agents that end up joining the company, naming you as a sponsor, and even if you never did anything ever again, but what if those two agents somehow get like 20 people under them, right? So that's kind of where
Absolutely.
the magic starts happening.
Look at what happened. Look at what happened to us with our great friend Joe Oz. Look at what happened to us,
Right,
and now
right,
there's 500 of us.
right.
So absolutely, you
And,
don't
and
know.
and think about it also. There's 500 of us in one of the slides that you just showed at the beginning today, saying that 2024 was the worst year in real estate since 1995. And also, if you think about it, over the past, year or year and a half, it's not just our company, but every company, their growth, right, was paused, right? Because we were at like 89,000, approaching 90. Now we're at 87, but we're not the only one. We're not the only company, right? That agents are just leaving the business. People, they have to do other things. If they're not focused on this, full time trying to, get it done, they have bills to pay, they're going to do what they have to do to get it done. So there were a lot of people that left the industry, right?
It's true. It's definitely true. But I think where you want to challenge yourself, if you're feeling a little bit sort of tired and sluggish coming through this year, take a step back. And that's where I think events are great, because having the ability to attend eXpCon, I come back always reinvigorated and excited and optimistic and enthusiastic about, what's ahead. So I encourage you, if you are feeling a little bit tired, to take a step back and really examine all of these programs. And you should be doing your business plan, right? You should be in the midst of that right now. So how can you build these programs into your plan for 2025? Whether it's gaining a certification or somehow better leveraging that certification, utilizing it in a way that gets you business in the coming year. These opportunities to earn wealth in other ways besides just production, that should be something meaningful to you in your business. Maybe mentorship is an opportunity for you to generate wealth and build income. Just really start to challenge yourself on how much you're plugging in. I think all too often we might take a look at our situation and say, I am not happy with my production. I'm just going to pick up and move without ever challenging. Have we been utilizing all the resources at our fingertips to their, and exploiting them to their fullest degree? And instead, we just sort of pick up and go because we're looking for somebody else to always be solving our problems. The solutions are right here. Just got to leverage them. So I'm super excited about this. I think this is incredible, and it continues to speak to the vision that eXp has to set the tone, to be the leader in the conversation of how brokerages are doing things differently to address the challenges that agents face. Super cool.
So yeah, Deanna, so
Okay,
Constance just dropped a quick
that's my
question.
soapbox.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say, Constance just dropped a question similar to what I just asked before.
Mhm.
She just said she missed a little bit of the info. Does this only apply to the 16,000 capping agents? And you said the answer was no.
No. So there's two programs. There's the capping agent enhancements, and then there are the icon agent enhancements. If you are a capping agent, that could be any cap, 4, 8, or 16. When you cap, you will see all first five levels of your rev share open to you. So even if you only tracked one person in, and then that person attracts one person in, as long as you've met your cap, even if it's 4,000, you'll have all five levels open to you for a 13-month period. If you are an icon agent, meaning you are on a $16,000 cap, you met your cap, and then you close the additional 20 deals in order to icon, then when you icon, all 7 levels of the rev share program will be open to you for a 13-month period. So I think this is just phenomenal. If you haven't ever logged in into my eXp, you should do it. You should learn your way around. some very cool features in there, and RevShare is certainly one of them.
Cool.
And then the last thing I just want to mention, is that if you haven't gone to an eXpCon or any convention with any real estate brokerage that you've been with, I encourage you to, again, if you're business planning right now, you should be factoring this in your business plan. We have the eXpCon International will be in Barcelona in 2025. We have Montreal for eXp Canada, and we have Miami. eXpCon has announced that Miami will again be the location for 2025. I don't have exact dates, but I believe Montreal is like maybe April. I think Barcelona is going to be in June, and Miami will be in October. There has been conversation. I'm waiting to get the link, but there's actually a bundle discount available today that if you were to go and choose 2 or even all 3 of these conventions for 2025, if you were to reserve your seats today, you're going to get a significant discount, almost to the point of like 2 for the price of 1. If you were kind of late to the party for Miami for 2024, that ticket would cost you around $950 or so if you didn't get the early bird pricing. If you were to jump now and pick even 2 of these 3 for 2025, I think you're going to fall somewhere around $1,000 for both. So that's super cool. I actually have an agent on my team who has family that moved to Spain. She heard Barcelona, and I think she's in, and that might be motivation enough for me to go and finally get my passport, and maybe there might be a couple of us on my team that might be willing to head to Barcelona in June. So
that would be amazing.
I really encourage you to, I really encourage you to think about it and don't just blow it off and not consider it as an opportunity.
And also,
it could really be very impactful and very motivating.
Yeah, and I just want to add one thing also. Like, even if you're just considering if it's a maybe that you might even just say the Miami one next October, it's really to your benefit to just even get the early bird ticket right now. Because if for any reason something was to happen even a week or 2 before you had to go, and this happened with me, you can sell your ticket in like 47 seconds because there were dozens, if not like 50 people looking for tickets to get into the convention. Even the day when the convention started, there were still messages, does anyone have an extra ticket? So if it's something you're considering, take advantage of the early bird because it's like $749 versus like 1,000 or 1,100 if you buy it at the event. So, Deanna, awesome
Early
job
bird,
today.
definitely. Thanks. And I'm still going through and finding new information. One of the things that I hope that we can do in the next couple of weeks, I mentioned with that Instacard, which is free, they also did a really great presentation that I think can be beneficial to you, that even if you don't want to pay to have an audit of your social media and your digital footprint, we can share some of what we learned at eXpCon to help you go back and maybe self-analyze and self-audit what your footprint looks like and things that you can change to sort of bring consistency and added focus and attention to you. And so I hope that we can do things there. And there's still a whole bunch of other stuff, but I hope you at least got a sense of some of the highlights. I hope you take advantage of things like Sisu and Canva Pro, which are huge, and consider RevShare. Consider that as an opportunity. If that pays for your marketing for the year, if that pays for, a weekend getaway, if that pays your car payment every month, that is worthwhile. That's meaningful. That makes a difference.
Real quick.
So plug in.
2 questions. 100% about the rev share. You don't have to go crazy with it. And also just keep in mind that you're not doing this by yourself. If you speak to someone that has any interest, about our company or wants to get more information, if you're not comfortable yourself having that conversation, reach out to one of us, myself, Deanna, Christian, any of us can help you with that conversation. And, we're here for you guys. Deanna, the other question I had was, so in regards with Sisu, which for many people maybe here today, sounds like a seesaw and they have no idea what the heck Sisu even does. Is is there going to be any kind of training or any kind of like explanations as far as, how that works, what we can do and things like that?
Yes. So from what I understand, and I actually hope to learn a little bit more. One of the things I have on my calendar is for Friday. I'm really interested in understanding what the paid versions of Sisu look like because I might want to leverage some of the additional functionality from my team's standpoint. But I know from the free version, there is training that's being made available in partnership between Sisu and eXp University just to help you get ramped up and started. I will say that I think it's much more user friendly than KV Core. So if you struggled a little bit to understand how to get your people or how to track your activities in KV Core, you're going to find Sisu much more user friendly. But there is some training that is being made available. Yes, once
So
you sign up. So I
so
can go
would
back and
you
just share that one more time.
Cool. So would you say Sisu is a CRM system? Okay.
Sisu is it's a CRM system, but it's designed really. So if you think of KV Core is a great place to sort of load your database, create uh, automated campaigns, create market alerts, right? And stay in touch with your people. Sisu is going to be more sort of action and task driven, where you are taking your people and you continue to build out your population, your database, if you will, but then you're tracking that to your actual actions, how many calls you make a day, how many appointments you're getting from those calls, how many appointments you're able to convert to clients, whether that be a new listing client or a new buyer client. So it looks to really mask cap standpoint. I actually have some information for those agents. Remember, I said it was like that beta program, 6 weeks, 3 times a week, and they were tracking their activities in Sisu.
Mm.
The agents who came out of that 6 weeks averaged 4.1 appointments it was like somewhere between a 45 and a 60-day window. So coming out of the 6 week program, 4 appointments and 2 agreements per person. And then if you looked specifically at the people who didn't just do a little bit of what they were taught in FastCap, but they plugged into everything and followed the blueprint faithfully, those agents saw almost 7 appointments on average in a 45 to 60-day window, with close to 4, it came out to 3.8 signed agreements. So either new listings or new buyers. So again, if you're struggling and you're looking at a pipeline that feels empty, feels like your cupboard is bare, Sisu is a great tool that, in partnership with the training and in partnership with you actually doing the work, now you're going to track it, hold yourself accountable to it, and you'll start to see the results. Yeah, I hope that helps
Awesome.
explain it a little bit. But
Yeah,
I
no,
think it's free, so do it.
awesome. Lynette
Yeah.
has
And
your
to your other point, Jean, when it comes to rev share, oh, go ahead.
No, no,
Hi,
no, go ahead.
Lynette.
Lynette, you can unmute. Just give us one sec. What were you going to say about the rev share?
Oh, the last thing I was going to say about RevShare is that, you, Christian, myself, there are actually 10 teams within our network of 500 agents here, primarily in New Jersey, but we continue to expand into other states. So if you have somebody that you feel would be a valuable member of the eXp family, but maybe not necessarily in your exact market or necessarily a perfect fit for your team, there's 10 teams. So and all of us as team leaders are in a position to help an agent identify what their needs are, where they're feeling frustrated in their current environment, and helping them find a team that would be a good fit. So leverage all of that because it'll come back to you and you'll get the benefit of the rev share, which is how this is supposed to work.
Exactly. Lynette, what's going on?
Hi, question. Would we be, excuse me, would we be able to move all of our contacts from KV Core into Sisu?
That's a great question. question. I'm still learning about Sisu myself. I absolutely believe that you can download a list, a CSV list from KV Core, and then upload it into Sisu. Sisu will not entirely replace your KV Core. Again, I describe it as more of an accountability platform. KV Core is still going to have a lot of other features. It also has your website. It has a lot of marketing and sort of listing boost capability, has CMA functionality. There's a lot of things that KV Core has that Sisu doesn't, at least not the free version. Yes, you can download and then upload a CSV of your contacts into Sisu.
Okay, thank you.
Got it. And Brian did say in the chat that he had it for a month as a trial, and he said it was more of a data analyzation and accountability platform, which kind of like what you mentioned before, Deanna.
Yeah, yeah. It's not going to replace KV Core, but if you are struggling to find that place that holds you to making, 25 calls a day or 50 calls a week or whatever that number is, and you don't have any information in front of you to understand how those efforts are translating to business and to know where you need to ramp up or where you need to find a fix, then I think Sisu for free is a great tool.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate you being here. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a great day and have a productive
Awesome.
week. Deanna, great job. Thanks for today.
And go vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Go vote.
vote.
Go stand in line for 2 hours if it takes 2 hours, but get after it. And then, hey, let's go to Barcelona next year.
Wait, can I just tell you real quick?
It's a goal.
I don't know if anybody watches Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I just saw a clip. I don't know if you guys there was am I frozen? Can you guys hear me for a second?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
I got you.
for Curb Your Enthusiasm, I saw a clip with Larry David. He was online, right? He was going to vote, and then he sees some guy like a little ahead of him because they were going to be online for like 2, 3 hours, and he was like, "Hey, let me ask you a question. Who are you voting for?" And the guy says one thing, and he says, "Perfect. I'm voting for the other one. So why don't we just both leave the line and we'll cancel out?" I just thought it was hilarious. Anyway, all right, guys.
It's gonna be a long day, everybody.
I know. All right.
Have a great day.
Not
Get
if you
out there
get
and
there
vote.
at 6
Exercise your
a.m.
right.
like I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynette got there at 6 a.m.
I applaud you, Lynette, because I already got the phone call saying, Deanna, the line's wrapped around the building. Don't wait until 5 o'clock to go vote. So,
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.